Hi, this is Danny. Hope you're all doing well. And this is a deconstruction video in Ableton Live of my new single, which is called Baby Don't Get Too Close, out on Just Underground Recordings. And we're going to dive straight in with the beats. This, by the way, is a pre-master, and this was mastered by, once again, Stuart Kettridge at Southeast Studios. Let's take a look at some drum programming first. Just going to solo the beats. So you can see what's going on here. There's a few elements actually. There's a drum kit that's happening, and these are sounds that I picked to create that kit. There's a couple of things that are going on with the processing. I'm going to show you actually. Let's just take this over to the right. This is running through this thing called Devil Look, which is a distortion unit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass and then bring it on. So that's adding a little touch. You can see here the mix is very small, so it's just got a slight kind of brashness that I really liked there. And the other thing is this is being underpinned actually by some other hats and snare here. This is an audio file, so those hats there, just adding some extra texture. And then the snare, which has occasional fills, as you can see here, programmed in. Just going to solo both those, just take off the main beat. So all blended together just to create a nice energy on the beats. And a couple of elements coming through. Once again, there is a sweeping synth sound to introduce these elements. And I'm going to take this so that we can see it, just to open this up. Very common for me to use this kind of a sound to be a kind of advanced warning of something coming up, and that's a patch on the Triton from Korg, which is super sweeper, and you can see that that introduces these musical elements just coming in. Wine pad from the M1, I use this so often. There we go. And what else do we have? Brass. This is such a wicked patch. But I'm processing it in a couple of different ways. You can see that. So this is the M12 Brass patch from the Korg Triton. And this is running through. This is a very interesting thing. This Ferro, which is a tape simulator. And it's a Max for Live device that I bought. Love the sound of this thing, and it adds some very slight kind of pitch variations, because you can see here the wow and flutter have been set, so that really adds a vibe. Let me take this off. I mean, it's cool, but when I put this on, that pitch, very slight pitch variations that I love. The gate here is just kind of making it a bit more tight and choppy, and it's a very important part of this track. Just going to come back, we've got another element. Here's the organ. That's another cool Triton patch. Always takes a long time to load up the UI for some reason. Right, Jazz Organ 1. Love the sound of that. What else we got? Piano. This is a lovely patch. It's a combination of a piano and also a sweeping synth. So you can hear that movement going on here, dance floor grand. That's running through a couple of things here, multi-band compression. And yeah, as always, this BX console here for the SSL 4000 series vibe. Well, there's a vocal, we'll come back to that in a second. High string. Cool Triton patch. Let me just open this up. Various other vocal stabs and stuff going on here. Camera strings is the string patch. So we are coming to the point where we're going to get into the vocal. very apt for this time. Just noticed the automation was off there. I just turned it back on. A couple of elements here. That string full just to introduce the next section here. Lovely string patch actually, that's just solo. Cool tritone. Again, I'm using that thing a lot. That was well worth the money. String World. Okay, little vocal hits here and there. And they were from Loop Masters. Can't remember which collection. Bass, I haven't even told you about that, but you know, this is a patch that I use a lot. Reactor. It's a real workhorse for me. Future bass patch, and I've basically played around with the settings here just to customize that. Now there's a lovely synth that comes in there actually. So what's going on with that? And you can see I'm using these little vocal hits really just as fills here and there. So here's that synth. ARP Odyssey is part of that Korg collection. There we go. Stab lead. Just really to keep the variety going, you know, a new element. And stripping things back. Getting ready for the breakdown. And by the vocal hits, by the way, the vocal hits you're hearing here, I ran through beat repeat and then bounced them out. So that means that they were not repeating in exactly the same way every time. Some subtle variation occurring there. So once again, breakdown. Riser coming from Serum as per usual. Where is that? Dubbed out effects on the vocals with the automation on boys. Actually, do you know what? I've just realised I didn't include that on the finished version. So yeah, forget that. I didn't use that. I just felt it was a bit messy actually. I wanted some clarity, so it just ends with the normal vocal hit. A snare fill coming up. Usual standard business. Yeah, once again, you know, the usual business where reducing elements over time, which is great for the DJs to be able to mix into, you know, something new. On the master, you can see what I had actually up and running when I was working with this before we went to master, just so that I could get a decent vibe, and that was a virtual tape from Slate Digital, SciQ from Sound Toys, and Ozone 8 for the limiter. But it sounds great without. You know, and I'm getting used to working without stuff from the master because I want it to sound as good as it can do without any of that kind of processing. And then that means when I hand it over to mastering, it's just got plenty of space to breathe, you know, and the mastering engineer has everything that they need to work with the track. So anyway, that's it. It's a bit short, but I don't have a lot of time these days. So if you have any questions, please put them down below. I'll also put a link to the track to purchase on Traxsource. And also, you'll be able to listen to this on streaming platforms too. Okay, take care.